Hey folks, Patdees. Thanks for coming to check out my channel. I do appreciate it. I am a full-time reseller. Well, full-time, part-time, some days more than others, but thanks for stopping to check out my channel. Haven't made videos like this in a while, but you know, here we are almost into November, and in our area where I live, Pennsylvania, there is no more flea markets. There is really no more garage or yard sales, but it gets tougher to find and source things. Now I do buy pallets, but I buy wherever I think I can make money. But today I want to talk about basically sourcing from Facebook and what do you think is a fair price to pay. And I'm going to walk you through a little bit. I have something pulled up here. I'm looking at some Hest Trucks. Now I know a lot of times people say, "Oh, there's so many Hest Trucks out there that, you know, the market is saturated." But honestly, there's still a market for them. Sometimes a lot of the Hest Trucks that I have sold in the past go all over the country. So people are looking for them in certain areas. They're maybe in overabundance, but you know, so one of the places I like to look is on Facebook, and you can see here I'm doing a screenshot, and I have a couple like this one, for example, the Hest Trucks lot of 32. Now, somebody basically, this is a pretty good deal. This is one I'm kind of interested in. It says 32 for $250, but you got to keep in mind when you start counting these, there's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19. There's 20 little ones, and those little ones aren't worth much. A lot of times they may go for $5 shipping, 10. You're not making much money on those. So the general rule of thumb is, depending upon how far I have to drive. Now this particular place is in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour and a half. So I always try to, whatever deal that I'm going to do, first of all, I'm not going to drive for 2 trucks. When you're talking basically $10 items, I'm not going to drive that. If someone's local 5-10 minutes up the street, yeah, it's worth it. But you know, I can't drive that far to make the deal worth it. You know, for me, like if it was, let's say, a $100 item that I could pick up for $30, and there was 2 or 3, so it would cost me basically 90 or 100. You know, 20 bucks, get back and forth there. You know, and then I could flip it for 300. But again, and I try to explain it to people. I'm really upfront with people. And I tell them, like, look, I'm a reseller. I buy and sell things. You know, I got to keep in mind there's shipping involved, and you know, there's eBay fees or whatever platform I decide to sell on. You know, very hard to find used or new things to sell on Amazon. But I have sold some Hest Trucks on Amazon, actually, that basically, if they're new in the box and the batteries aren't corroded, they're not moved, I've done okay with those. I've learned some lessons from doing that. Sometimes I didn't realize that sometimes batteries are in there and they can cause return issues because you know, they've been in there for 20 years and they corrode, and you know, and so you got to pull those batteries out a lot of times, or at least inspect them. So general rule of thumb for me, and again, I'm going to use this example as the Hest Trucks, is I like to, if I'm going to sell these on average for $20, $25, I really want to pay $8 to $10 a piece, because most Hest Trucks are going to cost around $12 to ship. So simple math, and if you're selling, let's just say you're selling them for $25, you're going to lose $12 right off the bat, $13. So now you're down to $13. And then you're going to lose another $3 in fees. Now you're down to 10. So in a lot of ways, and I know people, I want you guys to comment in the chat, you can't even really touch them sometimes for $10. What you got to hope is that there's a couple in there that you buy that, you know, maybe you get 30, 35. And there are some that you can, like for example, some of the fire trucks, if somebody's on the fire company, maybe they want them, and there's people that, you know, they're missing 1 year and stuff like that. But it's you know, that's why I like to be at that $8. You know, I have people say to me, I messaged 3 different people tonight, and oh, you know, some are $35-$50. Well, yeah, there could be 6 that are that, but you know, I had one guy, he has a bundle of them, he's asking $800, and really I don't want to give him more than $600 for him, because you got, first of all, you're taking the risk. Then you might have 5 or 6 that sell for $50. Okay, so if you got 600 in, you got 300. But then you got like 15 of them that might only go for $10. You know, I like to, I really want to recoup all my money back selling 30-35% of them. And that's just recouping, meaning, you know, whatever I put out, that if I'm going to buy 60 of them, so if I'm going to sell 20-25 of them, I'm going to get my money back. And even then, I'm still, it's more like closer, you know, 30%. It might be closer to 40%. So, you know, so that the rest are in the money, and that's tough, because I've bought these before. I've bought NASCAR before, the die cast. And oh, everybody wants to throw eBay price out, and I clearly tell them, look, I buy and sell. I'm not the end customer. I'm not the person that wants, you know, and that's where people who sell in bulk need to understand that. For example, in this picture, there may be several of the same, and yeah, see, this guy wants $20 a piece. I just couldn't buy him. If I'm the end buyer, and you know, I'm missing some, you know, that's a different story. But I'm talking about as a reseller, that I just can't do it. And this is in New York, so this is about I'd have to map it out, but it might be an hour and a half, 2 hours away from where I'm at. The one deal that I looked at 3 of them today, and you don't want to get stuck. That's another thing, is you don't want to get stuck sometimes with so many duplicates, and some of them are the worst. You want to find a person that basically says, the hell with it, you know, I inherited him, I don't care, or I found him in a storage unit, and I'm just looking to get rid of them, and it doesn't even matter, you know, not that they're looking up prices and they want, you know, $30 a piece. That just doesn't work. It's crazy sometimes what people are looking for online. Sometimes though, I've found okay deals online, and here's more, and you know, and I'm giving the Hest truck as an example. I'm selling these and other die-cast cars and tractors. The prices range, but start at $10. I'm not gonna message a guy who obviously Rockaway, New Jersey. He's looking probably for more local to say, hey, you know, I'm interested in 3. That's not even worth my time. I'll clearly write. You know, I don't know if you ever seen this, where people will say right out, if they won't respond like, hi, is this available? People will say, I just won't respond to that, because they feel like everybody's scamming or spamming. You know, so a lot of times I'll put, I'm interested, what is the price of all? I'll show you a message here earlier, and where this is clear, like I tell the guy, here, I'll show you exactly what I said. Here, the guy has 57 trucks, and he's looking for 800. I tell him right here, you can see I buy and sell on here. Can you? I don't know if my face is covering it or not, but I say I think 800 is fair. He says, and he's, I buy and sell online. Shipping is tough. Your offer, I tell him $600. I'm not sure. Yeah, the way that the screen is, I might be covering it up. But so what do you like to be? And you know. And I think that you have to think about that number. You have to think about that number when you're buying $10 items. To everybody thinks, oh, when you buy a $10 item and you flip it for 2.5, 3 times your money, that's what you're making, but you're not, because you got to factor in your fees, and you got to factor, this is not a lightweight item. You got to factor in your fees, and you got to factor in shipping. And shipping sometimes, many times, it costs more than what you actually pay for the product. Now, a lot of times people won't even be bothered. If I could buy something for 8 and net 5 to 8, you know, in other words, 50 to 100%, and the stuff sells, that's still worth it. But you know, here's a guy, here's an ad. I'm selling my 24 Hest trucks. They're all brand new, never opened, asking $1,000. Well, now he lowered the price to $720. I mean, so do the math. That's $30. $30 a piece. That's like full blown retail. I mean, no one's gonna pay that. You know, so I don't know how. I mean, oh, he listed these 5 weeks ago. No one's gonna pay that. I wouldn't pay. Now Allentown's about an hour and a half for me at 20. I wouldn't even want to shoot him an offer because I mean, it has to be no more than $240. So that's not even a good reselling. I don't care if he even threw in the Pop-Tarts and the crackers. It's still not worth it. So you could come across good deals, but you need to find people that aren't using Facebook as eBay. In other words, they're the end seller. You know, I've seen this one listed since August. This guy, I love Lunchboxes. This guy is looking to sell all his Lunchboxes for, I think it's 10 grand. I mean, I don't see 10 grand worth of Lunchboxes there, but he got cut off because it said we didn't have no more free space on the computer, so I had to go through and take away some duplicate files and stuff like that. But guys, I do appreciate you watching this. If you can give me a thumbs up, I'm going to make more videos talking about reselling, and I greatly appreciate your support, and I'll see you again.